yes, this is great that this event is happening. I think it's amazing that you can get this many people at the forefront of this space together, and to do that across the world in various different places. But I think fundamentally the problem is that the vast majority of the population have no idea really about this space. And that's a problem.
Did it come from the air? Did you store the carbon? That's really all you have to know or ask. Of course, there's many more details beyond that, but that's the starting place.
And so a lot of it is education, saying, hey, this isn't actually completely novel technology. We've done this over the course of many, many decades, and now we've adapted it to the current crisis in modern day. So the more the general public is actually educated in this, and the more that we elect officials that will hold themselves to those targets, the better.
So big takeaway is education will always be a barrier to how we scale opportunities in CDR, AI, whatever. From Nasdaq's point of view, we have an opportunity to be that minimum standard of care piece in terms of what we endorse. But I would say the final piece for how Nasdaq views this opportunity is that we found out that most corporates don't really distinguish the difference between nature-based solutions or engineered CDR. So what a great place to start.
We need to cut the acronyms. I think a lot of it is about the language that's not really engaging. It's not really taking people with them and making them understand why this is part of a solution and not just some techno-fix fantasy.
Ensure that we're not living within our jargon, that we're presenting information in a really transparent way and in an accessible way that gives people the tools to understand not just how this is good for climate, but also how it can be good for them, how it can be good for their communities.
Everybody is using different terms and phrases that define carbon removal, but there is no one definition. We cannot solve something and we cannot enlarge something, we cannot define that.
We're working in a field where there has been greenwashing. There have been attempts to provide carbon credits that have not worked out.
People want the carbon removal sector to win. The younger generation that's really showing up excited, enthusiastic. But I do worry about the bad actor who's going to crop up and give all the skeptics, the fuel. In tandem with all the other ways that we're trying to stimulate the carbon removal market, we also need to be building consumer awareness.
There's a strong perception that carbon removal poses this great risk to all of our other efforts to combat climate change. And there is a risk, but we can quantify it, we can tackle it, we can work to reduce it.
And I think we can resolve this by really integrating carbon removals as part of the overall plan. It's net zero, not zero sum.
Is this instead of reduction? And the answer, for Climeworks and for a lot of players in the industry is actually it is not. It's first reduction in a drastic proportion, about 90%, and then removal 10%. And this will need to hammer the message.